Tonight on the America's Car-Mart Football Report, we brace for another heart-pounding week of high school football and just hope that it approaches the excitement level of a week ago. The Pit at Bauxite saw one of the most explosive games ever as the Miners and Fountain Lake combined to post the fourth most points on record, a 78-72 Bauxite win. Last week's results also included an overtime win for Hazen over Bearden, a last-minute Lakeside triumph over Camden Fairview, and a final play field goal from Heber Springs' Braden Biggs to sink CAC. I'm David Wallace, expecting more of the same this week. After all, it's still conference play, and some of the games we'll talk about over the next half hour will go a long way toward deciding conference titles. Buckle up, it's all ahead. The America's Car-Mart Football Report starts now. Whoa, Nelly, it's 30 minutes of thrills and chills on the America's Car-Mart Football Report. I'm joined by the Gary Kasparov of football picking, and that he's the undisputed grandmaster of it, Barry Grooms. A fine young man named Bates Yoakum produces the show, and Thomas Thrash is the executive producer. We'll pick all the games and run down the top 10 rankings for each classification as they appear on Hootens.com. Let's start it out with Class 7A and run down the Hootens.com top 10, where the top 7 remain the same from a week ago. In fact, the top 5 all recorded Mercy Rule wins last week, starting with number 1 Bryant. The Hornets beat Little Rock Central by, get this, 49 points last week. Number 2 Fayetteville dispatched Bentonville West by 28 points. Third-ranked Conway, number 4 Pulaski Academy, downed North Little Rock 47-zip. And fifth-ranked Bentonville also rolled up a big win, blasting Harbor by 34 points. So those 5 are clearly a cut above the rest. 6th is Springdale, which is unbeaten at 4-0 on the year. Number 7 is Rogers. Then Little Rock Christian is up 1 to number 8 after a last-second win at Cabot. Cabot drops 1 to number 9, and then Bentonville West is ranked 10th. 88% correct last week on Hootens.com. Here are this week's picks, and we start in the Central, where top-ranked Bryant could have an easy time with number 8 Little Rock Christian. Hootens.com picking Bryant for a big win. Number 3 Conway, another blowout here as the Wampus Cats play at home against North Little Rock, and Conway is the emphatic pick in that one. Number 9 Cabot is a favorite at Little Rock Southwest, and Hootens.com is going with number 4 Pulaski Academy as the Bruins welcome Little Rock Central to Hatcher Field, and this is another one that could be a Mercy Rule affair. Now to the 7A West, number 1 Fayetteville, favored at number 7 Rogers. Hootens.com going with another visiting team, number 5 Bentonville at Fort Smith Northside, and 6th ranked Springdale also traveling to play this week and also favored on the road to beat number 10 Bentonville West. Springdale Harbor is a home favorite over Rogers Heritage, and one of these teams will win its first game, but Hootens.com is picking Harbor. All right, Barry, there's Class 7A. Give us some details.
David, the game that stands out is number 1 Fayetteville at number 7 Rogers. Rogers 3-1 after defeating Northside in the conference opener, but Fayetteville looked really good last week. In fact, running back Christian Battles and quarterback Garrett Odom each scored 3 touchdowns in that victory over Bentonville West. The defending state champs were up 35-7 at halftime. Fayetteville hasn't lost a conference game in 2 years, and the streak continues tonight over Rogers.
All right, now Class 6A, and on Hootens.com, here are the way the rankings look, starting with number 1 Greenwood, still in that spot after beating Shiloh Christian. Second is Benton. Then you have Shiloh Christian staying at number 3 despite that loss to Greenwood. Mountain Home is up 1 to number 4 after winning at Fort Smith Southside. Then you have Marion at 5. Fort Smith Southside dropping 2 spots to number 6 after the loss to Mountain Home. 7th is Little Rock Catholic, undefeated and up 2 positions after beating El Dorado. Lake Hamilton is 8th. Russellville up 1 to number 9 after beating Van Buren. Sheridan moves back into the top 10 after the Yellow Jackets' victory over West Memphis. Let's start in the East now as we look at the 6A East. Here are the games. Number 2, Benton, traveling to Sylvan Hills. Hootens.com likes the Panthers in a blowout. Number 5, Marion visits El Dorado. Hootens.com going with the Wildcats in a mild surprise. 7th-ranked Little Rock Catholic is a road favorite, traveling to West Memphis. In fact, this should be a big win for the Rockets. Number 10, Sheridan at Jonesboro. Tight one here, but Hootens.com picks the Yellow Jackets of Sheridan. In the 6A West now, let's look at number 1 Greenwood hosting 9th-ranked Russellville. Greenwood has won 13 of the past 14 meetings with the Cyclones, but Russellville's victory came in the 2016 6A state title game. Hootens.com in this one, though, favoring the Bulldogs. 3rd-ranked Shiloh Christian is a road favorite at number 4 Mountain Home. Number 8 Lake Hamilton welcoming number 6 Portsmouth Southside. Go with the Wolves in this one. That's what Hootens.com says. Van Buren is a home favorite over Siloam Springs. All right, Barry, which of those games is your Hootens.com game of the week in 6A?
David, that would be Shiloh Christian at Mountain Home. Shiloh Christian ranked number 3 in the state. Mountain Home number 4. Mountain Home won by 15 points last week over Fort Smith Southside. The Bombers off to their best start since 1986. Shiloh Christian last week led Greenwood 17-14 in the fourth quarter, but lost that game. They played it without their talented sophomore quarterback, Cole Creighton. He probably won't play in this game either, but Shiloh still has too much of a running attack. Sheridan at Jonesboro. Jonesboro battled with Benton last week. Got within 7 points late in the third quarter before losing by 13 points. Sheridan last week tied a single-game school scoring record with 62 points in that victory over West Memphis. The Yellow Jackets led 48-7 at halftime. There have been years where Sheridan hasn't scored 48 points in 3 games. If you'll look, we picked El Dorado to beat Marion, despite Marion beating El Dorado the past 2 years. And Benton has won 2 straight over Sylvan Hills by combined 106-31. David, this may be a big blowout.
All right, we'll look for that. And next, we look to Class 5A as this America's Car-Mart Football Report continues. I'm David Wallace for America's Car-Mart. It's game day in Arkansas. Well, it's always game day at America's Car-Mart. For more than 40 years, Car-Mart has helped hardworking Americans get into quality used vehicles. Car-Mart works hard to ensure customers drive away happy. They give customers peace of mind by keeping them on the road and helping them succeed. That's why Car-Mart was named to Newsweek's list America's Most Trustworthy Companies for 2023. Car-Mart, in your town or community near you, a proud sponsor of Arkansas high school football.
Not all college ends with a bachelor's degree. There are shorter-term programs that help students get to work in a profession they love. Best of all, Arkansas needs qualified workers in these high-demand fields: healthcare, industry manufacturing, and information technology. There are scholarships such as Arkansas Workforce Challenge and Our Future that will help pay for classes.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth. And you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
America's Car-Mart, keeping you on the road. Back with you on this America's Car-Mart Football Report. And we move on now to Class 5A. And on Hootens.com, the top 10 look like this going into Week 5. Little Rock Parkview bounced back from its first loss in 2 years by mercy ruling Hot Springs, and the Patriots hang on to the number 1 spot. At number 2, you have Harding Academy, 2-2 on the year, but somehow hanging on to that lofty position. Number 3, Joe T. Robinson. Valley View is up 2 spots to number 4 after beating previously unbeaten Paragould. Hot Springs Lakeside stays at number 5 after beating Camden Fairview. Marlton moves into the top 10 for the first time this year after downing Greenbrier. Searcy jumps 1 spot to number 7. Greenbrier tumbling 4 to number 8. Camden Fairview stays at number 9 despite losing to Hot Springs Lakeside. And the Win Yellow Jackets round out the top 10. 81% correct for Class 5A last week. Let's get into this week's picks and start in the 5A Central, where 3rd-ranked Joe T. Robinson travels to Jacksonville. Hootens.com likes the Senators on the road. Pine Bluff welcomes Maumelle, and by the way, this game will be at UAPB, as will all the Zebras home games the rest of the year. Zebra Stadium is being renovated. Hootens.com going with Pine Bluff in that bigger venue. Number 7, Searcy is a road favorite at Watson Chapel, and Hootens.com likes BB on the road at Whitehall. In the 5A East now, number 4, Valley View visiting number 2, Harding Academy. This is a blockbuster game in this conference. Hootens.com going with the Blazers on the road. Bit of a surprise there. Number 10, Wynn is a home favorite over Greene County Tech. Nettleton gets the nod at Brooklyn. And Batesville at Paragould. Go with the Pioneers in that one. In the 5A South, top-ranked Little Rock Parkview should be a big winner over DeQueen. That game at War Memorial Stadium. Number 9, Camden Fairview is favored at Texarkana. Hot Springs is a road favorite playing at Hope. And Hootens.com likes number 5, Hot Springs Lakeside at home against Magnolia. In the 5A West now, number 8, Greenbrier facing Clarksville at Greenbrier. This one, no contest. Greenbrier is the pick in that one. Much tighter game should happen at Alma, where the Airedales welcome number 6, Marlton. Hootens.com is picking the Devil Dogs on the road, but again, a close game expected there. Farmington is a home favorite over Harrison, and Hootens.com is going with Valonia at home over Pea Ridge. All right, Barry.
David, you called it a blockbuster game up in White County where Harding Academy welcomes the Blazers of Valley View. These two teams, no stranger to each other. In fact, they've been playing the past 3 years. Harding has won 2 of those, but the Blazer defense may be the difference. They've been very stingy this year, giving up less than 10 points a game so far. Batesville at Paragould. Batesville hasn't lost to the Rams since 1994 when Paragould was known as Ridgecrest.
All right, let's take another break. It's halftime of this America's Car Mart Football Report. We're back in a moment. I'm David Wallace for America's Car Mart. Who's feeling the football spirit? America's Car Mart proudly sponsors Arkansas high school football. Like our hardworking football players, the team at Car Mart works hard to keep you on the road. Car Mart knows that buying a vehicle is a big decision. That's why they take selling you a vehicle very seriously. When you shop at Car Mart, they're there for you. Through the good times and the bad times until you drive away with the title to your vehicle. Save time at the dealership and start your car buying journey online at car-mart.com. America's Car Mart, keeping you on the road.
Going to college may not look the same as it has before, but you have the power to move forward. There are over 1,000 hands-on or online programs in Arkansas designed to put you to work, and they qualify for state scholarships and grants. Healthcare, education, computer technology, industry technology, and more. Take your next step forward. Visit explorearcareers.com.
David Wallace back with you in the America's Car Mart studios, and we're in the middle of this America's Car Mart football report. Now let's look at Class 4A. Give you the picks, but first the rankings in the top 5 on Hootens.com remain the same from a week ago. Number 1, the Elkins Elks, undefeated but tested last week by Gentry. Number 2 is Arkadelphia. The Badgers beat Nashville a week ago. Number 3 is Warren. Then you have Mills at 4. The Comets mercy ruled Ball Dom. Prairie Grove is 5th. Malvern moves up 1 to number 6, beating Genoa Central 37-zip. Gravett moves into the top 10 for the first time after annihilating Lincoln, and the Lions are ranked 7th. At 8, you have DeWitt staying there despite losing to Warren. 9 is unbeaten Highland, and 10 is another unbeaten team, Southside. Hootens.com got 20 of 24 correct in Class 4A last week. Let's dive into this week's picks and look at the 1-4A, where number 1 Elkins will try to stay there in a game against Berryville. Hootens.com thinks they will. The Elks are picked in a blowout. Number 5 Prairie Grove goes to Huntsville. Prairie Grove is going for its 14th straight win over Huntsville. Hootens.com picking the Eagles to get it. Number 7, Gravett is a favorite at Green Forest, and Gentry is the pick at Lincoln. Now to the 2-4A, 4th-ranked Mills on the road at Heber Springs, coming off of that last-second victory last week, but Hootens.com going with the Comets to win. CAC could bounce back from that loss to Heber Springs. Hootens.com has the Mustangs picked at home over Riverview. That, by the way, a battle of winless teams, neither Riverview nor CAC with a victory yet this year. Forest City is the home pick. against Hallstein, and Hootens.com going with Lone Oak at home over Bald Knob. In the 3-4A, number 9 Highland is a road favorite at Truman. Number 10 Southside entertains Cave City. Hootens.com going with the Southerners there. Blytheville at home is a favorite over Jonesboro Westside. Hootens.com picking Pocahontas at Gosnell, and Dardanelle at home over Waldron. Clinton welcomes Pottsville, and the Yellow Jackets are the home favorite. Mena entertains Lamar. Hootens.com likes the Bearcats at home there, and Ozark is a home favorite over Dover. In the 7-4A now, number 2 Arkadelphia at home, big favorite over Bauxite. 6th-ranked Malvern is traveling and favored at Harmony Grove Haskell. Fountain Lake is the upset pick at home in a game against Nashville. And Ashdown at Genoa Central. This could be a blowout as Ashdown is the heavy favorite. In the 8-4A now, number 3 Warren entertaining Monticello. Hootens.com likes the Lumberjacks. Number 8 DeWitt is a favorite at Star City. Crossett at Stuttgart. It's homecoming in Stuttgart. Hootens.com going with the Ricebirds at home, and Hamburg at home a favorite over Helena. All right, that runs through Class 4A. Let's get Barry's thoughts now.
Well, David, the big one is Monticello at Warren. The winner of this rivalry game gets the 146-pound Saline River Shootout Trophy. Under Coach Bo Embry, Warren has a 21-2-1 record against Monticello. Last week, the Lumberjacks, they're known for high-flying offense. They ran the ball for 233 yards on that muddy field against DeWitt to get the victory. Monticello's won 3 straight games this season behind senior quarterback Ty Guthrie, but Warren's going to be too much. Mills at Heber Springs is interesting. Heber Springs' Brayton Biggs kicked the game-winning field goal last week with just a couple of seconds left over CAC. Mills' defense playing outstanding, though. Waldron shocked the state last week with a win over Ozark, while Dardanelle, they haven't disappointed at all this season and took down Dover last week by 51. That's why Dardanelle's the heavy favorite.
All right, one more break, and we're coming back with the smallest classifications on this America's Car-Mart Football Report. I'm David Wallace for America's Car-Mart. You know, America's Car-Mart is your number 1 fan when it comes to Arkansas high school football. And when you drive away in a quality used vehicle from Car-Mart, they're cheering for you all the way to the end zone. From purchase to payoff, Car-Mart is there for you. They'll work with you and your situation to find a payment plan that fits your budget. So go see for yourself why Car-Mart is different from all the rest. Stay connected by following Car-Mart on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and online at car-mart.com. America's Car-Mart, keeping you on the road.
Not all college ends with a bachelor's degree. There are shorter-term programs that help students get to work in a profession they love. Best of all, Arkansas needs qualified workers in these high-demand fields: healthcare, industry manufacturing, and information technology. There are scholarships such as Arkansas Workforce Challenge and Our Future that will help pay for classes.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
Let's chug on down the road to Class 3A now on this America's Car-Mart Football Report. And look at Class 3A. The top 10 on Hootens.com remain the same from a week ago, led by number 1 Prescott. The Curly Wolves struggled early last week before pulling away from Falk. The defense gave up just 4 yards in the second half, so Prescott maintains its unbeaten record at number 1 rank. Number 2, another unbeaten, the Boonville Bearcats. At 3, you have Newport. The Greyhounds struggling for a half with Piggott before pulling away. 4th is Rivercrest, then Walnut Ridge is number 5 after a Mercy Rule win over Manila. 6 is Fordyce. You know, the defense for Fordyce has 13 takeaways in only 4 games. Bismarck, coming off its best start in 18 years, 4-0, is ranked number 7. 8 is Salem, then Charleston at 9. And number 10, the 4-0 Rising Wildcats, undefeated after handling Palestine Wheatley a week ago. Last week in Class 3A, pretty good, 96% on 23 of 24 picks. And I just have to say the Class 3A picks are done by Bates Yoakum of the Hootens.com staff, so kudos to him. Now let's look at this week's picks in the 1-3A now. Number 2, Boonville is a road favorite at Hackett. Hootens.com is going with 9th-ranked Charleston over Mansfield. That game at Charleston. Lavaca entertains West Fork. Lavaca is the pick. Greenland is a road favorite at Cedarville. In the 2-3A, Hootens.com likes 8th-ranked Salem over Episcopal in a big way. That game at Salem. Mayflower is a road favorite at Yellville Summit. Melbourne playing at Quitman. This could be tight. Hootens.com going with the Bearcats of Melbourne. Atkins is a road favorite as well, playing at Mountain View. In the 3-3A now, number 3 Newport gets a home game against 4th-ranked Rivercrest. This is a big matchup in this conference. Hootens.com likes Newport at home. 5th-ranked Walnut Ridge is a road favorite at Osceola. Manila at Hoxie. Go with Hoxie there as the Mustangs play at home and look for their second win. Harrisburg at 0-4 goes to Piggott, another 0-4 team. Battle of winless teams. Hootens.com likes Harrisburg in that one. In the 4-3A, Glen Rose at Magnet Cove. Rivalry game here. Glen Rose is the pick. Perryville is another road favorite playing at Danville. Hootens.com likes Jesseville at Two Rivers and Paris playing at Cutter Morning Star. So if you didn't get that, all 4 road teams in the 4-3A are favored to win. In the 7-3A now, number 1 Prescott goes to Horatio and should not be challenged. Prescott is a big favorite there. Number 7, Bismarck visits Smackover, and Bismarck is a big favorite. Harmony Grove, Ouachita County is favored at Falk, and Hootens.com is picking Centerpoint at Parker's Chapel. Centerpoint the favorite. Number 6, Fordyce entertains Drew Central. Fordyce is unbeaten. Drew Central yet to win one, so Fordyce is the big favorite. Number 10, Risen, another unbeaten team, favorite at home over Dumas. Hootens.com likes the McGee Owls at Lake Village, and Barton at home over Palestine Wheatley. Perry, how about Class 3A?
David, the game that catches your attention is Newport hosting Rivercrest. Rivercrest just beat Harrisburg last week 40-14, and in that game, Jaden Young had 2 touchdowns, including an 80-yard punt return. Cavante Washington had a couple of touchdowns. This Colt team is loaded with playmakers, but so is Newport. Luke Reynolds, he had nearly 200 total yards last week in the slop against Piggott. Keandre Barker had 111 yards rushing. This game should be close all the way, but Newport at home finds a way to win.
Let's keep it moving on to Class 2A now. There is a change at the bottom of the rankings, but the top 9 on Hootens.com remain the same from last week. Number 1 is Carlisle, led previously undefeated Baptist Prep 50-0 in the first half and walked home for a victory there. Number 2, Conway Christian is also unbeaten at 4-0. At 3, you have Junction City, followed by Mark Tree at 4. The Indians beat Mariana 22-0 a week ago. Number 5, Desark Mercy ruled Earl last week. McCrory, the only other undefeated Class AA team, is 4-0 and ranked number 6. Bigelow is 7th and Mineral Springs at 8. Poen defeated England in the final minutes last week, and Poen stays at 9. And here's the change as Hector jumps into the top 10 at number 10 after beating Mountain Pine. Hootens.com doing pretty well in AA too, if we don't mind saying so ourselves. 80 of 93 games correctly picked on the year. That's 86%. Let's get into this week's picks in the 1-2A now. Number 2, Conway Christian will welcome Mount Ida for a Thursday night game. The Eagles are the favorite. Number 10, Hector visiting number 7, Bigelow. This could be the Class 2A game of the week. It's not. Barry will tell us about that later. But a close game nevertheless, and Hootens.com is going with the defending state champs, Bigelow. Magazine is a home favorite over Mountainburg, and Hootens.com also likes Johnson County Westside at home over Mountain Pine. Now to the 2AA, 4th-ranked Mark Tree at Earl. Hootens.com picking Mark Tree there. 5th-ranked Desark, another road favorite at Mariana. In fact, this should be by a wide margin. Number 6, McCrory is favored at East Poinsett County, and Cross County is the lone home favorite in the 2AA, welcoming Izard County. Cross County favored in in a blowout. In the 3AA now, number 3 Junction City traveling to number 8 Mineral Springs, another candidate for AA Game of the Week. And Hootens.com likes the Dragons in a close one to win on the road. Murfreesboro is a home favorite over Foreman. Give Gurdon the nod at home over Lafayette County. And Derrick's is the pick on Hootens.com at Spring Hill. Now to the 4AA. Number 1 Carlisle at Clarendon. No contest. Hootens.com likes the number 1 Bison to win. Hazen goes to England. Hazen got his first win of the season last week, beating Bearden 14-12 in overtime. And Hootens.com thinks the Hornets will win their second favorite at England. Baptist Prep is a home favorite against Bearden. And 9th-ranked Poen will welcome Hampton. This could be a close game. Hampton has won 3 straight, but none of those teams have a win yet this year. Poen is 3-1, and so Hootens.com likes the Indians of Poen. And on that note, let's turn to Poen's most famous resident, Barry Grooms.
David, you mentioned several candidates for Game of the Week, but you didn't get it. Number 6, McCrory at EPC. EPC played in the state championship game last year. McCrory off to its best start since 2018. Hey, the Jaguars won the 2021 state title. They started the year 3-1. McCrory just beat Cross County by 8 points last week. Will Rushing had a big night, 124 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. EPC, meanwhile, throttled Izard County last week. Jacob Gaines, remember that name, 9 carries, 101 yards, 3 touchdowns. This is going to be a close game and determine playoff positioning.
All right, Barry, on to 8-man. There are no changes in the top 5 sanction rankings on Hootens.com. Number 1 is Strong after playing its first game of the year last week, beating Dermott. Number 2 is unbeaten Cedar Ridge. Rector is 3rd, Brinkley 4th, and Midland is 3-0, ranked number 5. Now to unsanctioned teams, only 4 teams in this division. The number 1 team is Corning. Hootens.com Game of the Week among unsanctioned teams. Strong at Woodlawn. Hootens.com picking Strong on the road. Brinkley is the road favorite at Dermott. Cedar Ridge is the pick at Marvel. Hootens.com going with unbeaten Midland at home over Marshall. Rector is favorite at Augusta. Rosebud, 0-5 on the year, is picked to get its first win, welcoming Southwest Christian Academy. Southside B Branch is 3-0 and favored at Guy Perkins. That game will be played at Hendrix College. And Hootens.com is going with Corning at home over Subiaco Academy. I'm David Wallace for America's Car Mart. Who's feeling the football spirit? America's Car Mart proudly sponsors Arkansas high school football. Like our hardworking football players, the team at Car Mart works hard to keep you on the road. Car Mart knows that buying a vehicle is a big decision. That's why they take selling you a vehicle very seriously. When you shop at Car Mart, they're there for you through the good times and the bad times until you drive away with the title to your vehicle. Save time at the dealership and start your car buying journey online at car-mart.com. America's Car Mart, keeping you on the road.
Going to college may not look the same as it has before, but you have the power to move forward. There are over 1,000 hands-on or online programs in Arkansas designed to put you to work, and they qualify for state scholarships and grants. Healthcare, education, computer technology, industry technology, and more. Take your next step forward. Visit explorearcareers.com with instructions.
Why do tacos get their own day of the week? Is it because Mondays are so rough, we need a Tuesday filled with beefy tortillas shared with good friends? If so, why don't we have Wellington Wednesdays, Stroganoff Saturdays, and heck, Meatball Mondays? Then, Mondays would just be another reason to enjoy our favorite beef with our favorite people. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers.
Courtesy of Beef. It's what'sfordinner.com.
Hungry on your way to the game? Satisfy that craving at Colton's. Throw those peanut shells in a bucket, grab a hot roll and butter. Then enjoy one of our hand-cut steaks or any of our mouth-watering entrees in a relaxed, casual dining atmosphere. With 14 convenient locations across the state, you're sure to find a Colton's near your Friday night football destination.
We're back just in time to say good night for this edition of the America's Car Mart Football Report. Until we greet you again, we invite you to check out the website, Hootens.com, for all things pertaining to football in Arkansas. On game night, you want to be glued to the high school scoreboard, powered by First Security and exclusively on Hootens.com. Barry and others are in constant motion while games are going on, keeping all of them refreshed up to the minute. Also on Hootens.com, you can watch a video feature on a very special player, Nettleton quarterback Maddox Hampton, the First Community Bank Scholar Athlete of the Week. So for now, for Barry Grooms and producer Bay Chokum, I'm David Wallace. We'll see you at the stadium.